my boat.
It's July 8th, and we hit the first snafu of our trip. We rely on the chart plotter navigation program called Navionics to plot our courses and find our way around. We're always sure to download the latest updates so the chart info is as current as possible. Today we traveled from Monroe, Michigan to the start of the Detroit River in Grosse Isle, Michigan. There is a bridge across the river that has been under construction for quite some time, but Navionics says that while it's closed to vehicular traffic, it does open to let boats through. This turned out to be incorrect. The river channel on this side of Grosse Isle is not passable. We now have to go back the way we came and take a different channel north. The result is we've gone about 12 miles out of our way. The good part about this is that we had a pleasant stay at the Water's Edge Marina. We took showers, had dinner in their restaurant, and listened to live music from the deck of our boat. The waterway between Lake Huron and Lake Erie consists of the St. Clair River, Lake St. Clair, and the Detroit River. There's a good deal of current in the river sections, so it can be a challenge for an underpowered boat like ours. In the northernmost section of the St. Clair River, current can flow at 4 to 5 knots, or maybe more. To make things more difficult, with the Canadian border closed, the number of available marinas along this route is limited. You can't always find a stopping or fueling point where you want one. On July 9th, we pushed off from the dock of Grosse Isle and made a quick stop across the river for 100 gallons of diesel. After that, we followed yesterday's trail back down towards Lake Erie till we could do a U-turn and head back upstream again. The current was running 2 or 3 miles per hour against us for most of the day. At about 2 p.m., we arrived at William Milliken State Park Marina in Detroit. An interesting part of this day's travel is that we actually spent a good part of the day in Canada. Even with the border still closed due to COVID, the Canadian waterways are still open to Americans as long as you don't stop anywhere along the way. On Saturday, June 10th, we left Milliken Park Marina and headed back out into the Detroit River. Our goal this day was to pass Belle Isle, cross Lake St. Clair, and then check in at South Channel Yacht Club for the night. The place we stayed was an area called Harson's Island. The facility was actually a former yacht club that had gone broke and had recently been purchased by a local guy. He has plans to refurbish the place and open a restaurant on the waterfront. It'll be interesting to watch this place in the future. From Harson's Island, we continue north on the St. Clair River, this time headed for the town of St. Clair, where we'll be staying at the St. Clair Boat Harbor. This day will consist of a 22-mile ride against the current. Our average speed will likely be about 5 miles an hour. A slow ride in the rain. We arrived in St. Clair at 2:30 p.m., had dinner at a nearby restaurant, and relaxed for the evening. We continued our push north the next day to Port Huron, Michigan. Like a lot of the St. Clair River, the shoreline around Port Huron, Michigan, and the Canadian city of Sarnia, Ontario across the river isn't particularly pretty. It's mostly made up of petroleum refineries, power plants, chemical plants, and other industrial properties. Some active, some defunct. The Port Huron harbor area itself is nice enough, but when you explore the area, it's definitely seen better days. Here's where we face an obstacle I've been concerned about since we left home. 3 Great Lakes, Michigan, Superior, and Huron, all drain into the St. Clair River in one spot. This is under the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron. The current here is notoriously strong, made worse by the fact that the river narrows in this spot. Cruising guides say that the current can run 4 or 5 knots here. Some locals have told us it can run 7 or 8 knots. Well, our boat only does 8 knots. So what's going to happen when we get out in that current? We'll either be going forward very slowly or possibly going backwards.
Outer skin is beginning to heat, Captain. Orbit plot shows we have about 8 minutes left.
Scotty, I can't change the laws of physics. I find nothing interesting in the fact that we're about to blow up.
The method is fascinating.
Mr. Gibbs, Captain. You may throw my hat if you like. Aye, aye, Captain. Hooray! Now go and get it.
As it turned out, the cruising guides were correct. We stayed to the Canadian side of the channel and saw about 5 knots of current against us. There may have been more if we'd run up the middle. After clearing the bridge and entering Lake Huron, we headed to Lexington, Michigan for the evening. Tomorrow, we move further north up the coast to Harbor Beach. But that will be in the next episode.